Hello everyone, Simon here from the Whales of Wall Street. UOS on our radar on the exchange, that is ultra.io. We've covered this a couple of times in the past. We're just doing a quick update video for this one. Some people requested it in the comments in the last few days. This is one of my favorite projects for the long run. I'll explain why the long run in a second. But for those that don't know, this is very much it's a couple of things actually. You can see our intro video to this, which I'll leave at the end of this one. But for those that just want a quick recap, this is very much a big developing tool for future gamers and gamers of today that want to create games. But also it has a new distribution model that competes significantly with the likes of Google Play, the App Store or the Apple Store, and all these existing systems where people buy games from, particularly in the mobile sector of gaming. But also the advantage of this is it goes across PC and potentially other platforms as well. There is some integration with Theta, which of course is a phenomenal project in itself. We covered Theta a couple of times in recent history of the channel, and this is something that's probably similar to Veracity in the sense of this whole play to earn mechanism of being able to watch and earn tokens. So the view to earn mechanism really kicks in, and streamers are allowed to obtain tokens from viewers as well, with a very quick economics aspect of it in terms of being able to receive tokens for people watching your content. So this is really cool. There's a few updates since the last video we did. The last video, I think we talked a bit about the Unique marketplace. This is quite a significant scenario for gaming, really, because we have things like Engine, the token ENJ, with Affinity as well, very heavily focused on the gaming and the NFT aspect, but also the melting down and creation of NFTs and the cross capabilities of NFTs within gaming. This is something that Ultra is looking to bring to the table within its own ecosystem. So it's really delivering like a full-scale platform, not just for distribution of games, not just for playing games and viewing games, but also having this interaction of NFTs being playable in the games and being potentially, depending on the games that you're playing, of course, the ability to swap characters in between games and potentially as well moving assets or items across to one another as well. Now, of course, there's various rules within gaming that some games, because of abilities or skill sets, you can't take certain items across. I always make the comment of Ready Player One when we talk about this scenario, but the fact of the matter is we will be escalating blockchain gaming and Web3 gaming as the time goes by to really start incorporating all these really cool things. So Ultra's doing a big job in the background. It's a lot of it's in testnet at the moment. It's been something that I've been holding for a couple of years now, with the belief and the trust behind the team, behind the technology, everything that they're doing and that they're about to come to fruition in the next couple of years. Now, they should have most of this testnet and into mainnet very soon, probably this year, and we'll probably start seeing some of the games roll into this as well. You can do the view to earn mechanism via Theta on the desktop app at the moment. You can simply go on their website and download that. But for me, this is going to be a super cool desktop option. The ability to buy games, to be able to sell them on when you finish with them, but also for distribution of games. These people are spending so much time making these games, and they spend a fortune having to list them and get very minimal return on investment when they're trying to sell their games to the mass audience. Ultra does an extremely good job of basically counteracting that. And actually, we look at this here. I did cover this a multitude of times in previous videos, but look at this for a comparison in terms of the distribution fees. I mean, when you're launching a game, you're probably in your mindset thinking, I need to get it on Apple Play and Google, and that's fine because they've been around a long time, and that's where the go-to destinations are for most of our smartphones, right? We've got Steam over here, which is one of my favorite platforms, but Steam at the moment is pretty much against things that involve blockchain and crypto. So I'm sure they'll have to reverse that psychology at some point, because they will really hit hard, or it will be slapped in their face quite hard, in the sense that blockchain and Web3 gaming cannot be stopped. And I'll just reiterate to a couple of people out there that maybe perhaps don't understand the gaming market. I mean, I've been involved in esports and partnership with esports for many years. I work in blockchain Web3 gaming right now. And I will tell you a couple of statistics that I've pulled together over sort of the last couple of months from Statista and a few other sources as well. So at the moment, there are 3.2 billion gamers worldwide, okay? And in the gaming market worldwide, 198.4 billion's worth of revenue or market wealth is in there. Nearly 200 billion, guys. And it probably is that by now, actually, in 2022. 41.9 million gamers own crypto from 2020. So it's obviously a hell of a lot more now. And there's more money to be spent in the gaming industry, of course. And just for the record, 2 years ago, I'd like to get some new stats to this, but just 2 years ago, $42 million was spent in land sales and 320 million in terms of crypto gaming industry revenue. That is mental, guys. And this is going to continue to grow. There's big games out there, of course, already at the moment. And just on the esports perspectives as well, we have to not ignore these kind of things also. The esports market revenue is sitting at around 104 billion. As in 1.04, sorry. And also by 2025, they're expecting $3.5 billion, the combined market of esports and streaming by 2025. And by 2025, they expect 577 million people to be watching esports or indeed gaming in some capacity on streaming and live video. That is crazy, guys. Absolutely crazy. For just esports, the live streaming gaming audience in 2021 was 728 million. Almost 1 billion people are watching games online. So when you put this into perspective as a developer of a game, when we're looking at all these low distribution fees, you're going to come across the Web3 where you get the development tools, the ability for NFT marketplaces to distribute your game in a magnitude of ways. This is phenomenal, and it has big backings in the sense of the founders and the people that have come across, even people from the likes of Google and YouTube have come across to work for Ultra, with Ultra. It's in my mind one of the biggest gems out there when it comes to gaming situations, and I'm super excited. Like I said, I've been holding for a couple of years. I'm still being really patient with this one because I'm a big Steam fan. I use shadow gaming a lot as well, and when I heard about this one involved with the SDK protocols and development tools and the ability to hold games, distribute games, help developers of games sell their games in a better fashion, giving more reward to the creators, which is ultimately one of the great things about this, I'm super excited. And I want to know in the comments below if you're holding this token. If you're not, is it something of interest to you? If you want more information, do check our intro video, and any general information that you want additionally, please do let me know, and I'll for sure stick that together for you guys, because as you can tell, a passion of mine is gaming, and I particularly love the Web3 space for gaming. That's why I work in it, and I'm very fortunate to do so. And we see here as well the global video game market. Now, this is video games in general, of course, but everything's going digital. Everyone's going cloud and Web3. These numbers are staggering, guys. Like by 2025, look at the amount in terms of millions of dollars by region. This is absolutely phenomenal. I do think China's is probably actually bigger than what it suggests on here, but it's still massively, massively high. And do not underestimate the Indian market in Web3 gaming. Trust me, this is going to be a giant gaming market in the next 5 years, as is Africa. I'm speaking to a lot of companies in Africa building right now. It's absolutely brilliant to see, very exciting, and for sure, many, many things to look forward to in the near future. So yeah, recently some users were invited to test the unique place in a closed beta, and we also had the same with some of the gaming platforms a while back. Unfortunately, I missed out on the opportunity to test myself, but from what I'm seeing from people's experiences and thoughts, this is going to be a really cool platform, guys. Like a truly, truly cool platform, and UOS obviously being a big utility token part of that. It's going to be absolutely brilliant as well. So do keep an eye out for this one if it's new to you. all I will say is do research on gaming market, especially in Web3, crypto, play to earn, view to earn, and trust me, you'll then start connecting the dots as to why you might be as excited as I am about this top project. And on that note, guys, we're going to jump into the chart because I'm going to give you a little background story. I am by no means going to be an advocate of the sense that I've done the best trading with UOS. I jumped into, or FOMO mode if you like, with UOS because I believed so much in this project. I believe bought in around 120, 140, which is very high considering where it is now. But at the time, it obviously went up a bit and I made some money. But in the grand scheme of things, I was thinking this is a huge project. The future is going to be massive for this. So my learning from this was obviously like to do a bit more research at that time as to where we are in the cycle of UOS token. But more importantly, where we're going to go with this. And we had some buy options on the way down. We hit some trigger points early in this year, and I've just left UOS for a bit until it sort of stabilized. It had a bit of stabilization here. Ultimately, I missed that because I was focusing on other projects. But now, back down at these levels of 20 to 25 cents, I've started accumulating in the last 48 hours, basically. Yes, there's a possibility that we still may come down further. We are probably looking at testing around these areas that we saw back here in May 2021 and February 2021, respectively. That has had a bit of a bounce off, which is nice to see. So in that way, we could identify that is a potential support line. But we can't confirm that until we probably test it one or two more times. So that's what I think is what's going to happen now. A lot of assets have had a nice little bump up in the last few days, but I do think the market is going to be retracing slightly. People have been paid, they obviously pump in, they take some profits, and then we're still got to remember, guys, the negative narratives around the world and everything going on with the macro levels, the energy prices, fuel, everything. People just don't have the disposable income at the moment to be penetrating the markets like we would want them to be for a bull run, okay? So we just have to understand this. But we also have to understand the future of projects and especially tokens. UOS and Ultra, this is, as I said, in mostly testnet at the moment. The mainnet's coming very soon. I've been following this for years. I've been so eagerly excited about this project. And I'm now starting to see a bit more of the fruition about this. And what's going to happen with the gaming market over the next few years is going to be phenomenal. And more people in the traditional gaming world, which is an unbelievable amount of people, unbelievable amounts of money, will come over to Web3. I guarantee it, because the development opportunities are bigger, the distribution opportunities are bigger, and the audience capability is bigger. If you think about it, you can get paid to watch games as well as play them and get paid for people watching you. It's incredible. And yes, okay, you could say YouTube streamers do get paid through super chats and monetizations and things like that, of course. But this is on another level, guys. We're talking about instant real-time tokenization, swapping of tokens, paying people with tokens, conversions to stable coins, to other tokens. It's going to be crazy. Like, I feel we had the NFT boom last year. I guarantee to you we are going to have a giant gaming boom in the next couple of years. I don't know the exact dates or the timings. It's really dependent on the further developments of other games out there. But traditional gamers, traditional developers of gamers are going to be coming across. Mark my words, you heard it here on the channel first. There will be a humongous uprise in Web3 esports gaming in the very near future. So this pinpoints my fact that these are extremely nice prices to DCA. As I said, I've been buying the last couple of days. I'm anticipating a potential lower drop back down to the 20 cent mark. Could we come down to, obviously, if Bitcoin does penetrate back down to $12,000 to $15,000, we may start seeing those 15 to 20 cent markers on UOS again as well. That's why it's important to be strategic with your investments. Don't just jump in for the sake of it or because you got paid and you want to just chuck in there regardless. Have a conscious thought process around how you are investing in any of the crypto assets out there. But for me right now, we're looking at stabilization here. Whether it hits it or not, this is why you have to understand the risk element, that we could potentially come down as well as up, of course. Sounds silly, but it is true. The RSI indicators on the lower regions here, 16th of June, 14-day 23, 28-day 30. These are beautiful buy points. Even right now are beautiful considering the longevity of UOS, but I'm just holding tightly for another couple of days before I invest more than I have done yesterday and today. But this 40 and 37 mark, regardless, if you missed this a couple of weeks ago, don't worry. These are still massively good entry areas potentially for the future as well. But as I said, we've just got to keep an eye on things. The bullish momentum is occurring here still. We tried to put it back under into a bear mode and it just rejected it over a 2-3 day period. And we're now back into this kind of like upward momentum. But what I will pick out is the fading marks here on the histogram in green. This is indicating that we're just about very slowly removing the buy-in factor. Okay, it's not saying that people are selling, it just means the income into UOS tokens is not as big as it was a couple of days ago. So we might see a similar pattern to this, but what is beautiful is to see we've already had big UOS sell-offs here and here, March and April into May respectively, but only a small one here. So this is now identifying that around these areas are really big sweet spots for UOS. People now understand that this is a reflective price point where we possibly should be with UOS already and where we might go. Finally, before we wrap this video up, guys, the performance indicators on the right hand side, the 6 months and the 3 months are understandably very negative like the rest of the market. There's only a handful that are pulling that down to about 60-50% at the moment on those two respectively. But what's positive is the weekly, which confirms what we said about here on the histogram. And the monthly is still in a negative, but it is slowly but surely drawing itself downwards. So do keep an eye on this one. It's something, as I said, it's not financial advice, but I would recommend looking at DCA options if you're a believer in gaming, if you're a believer in this kind of project, or you're just watching this video and you're going, actually, yeah, I like this guy's style. I'm going to have a look at this. Do your own research before you invest anything. Don't take my word for it. Don't take anyone else's word for it. Understand the gaming market. Understand the platforms of streaming, YouTubing, etc. Understand the amount of money that's going to come into this space in the next few years, and then make your decision. But mark my words, I don't think you'll be making mistakes when you're investing in Web3 gaming across the board. So guys, that wraps that up. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you in the next UOS video. Bye-bye.